What up? It's your boy, Andrew LaFleur, the lazy writer, the laziest of writers. And today I want to talk to you about something I'm calling writing gadgets. These are kind of products that market themselves as something that will help you, the consumer, write. And usually not write better, but write more. One common term that they use to help market it is distraction-free writing. You know, they kind of use that selling point that everyone struggles with distraction, especially in the modern age with internet and phones, that if someone can provide the distraction-free writing experience, then you'll be able to write your novel. Then you'll be able to finish your homework. Then you'll be able to finish your poems and put them in a collection and send them off to the publishers, right? So that's kind of what I want to talk about. And whether or not they're good or bad or we need them or they have their use, right? Now, not all of these are electronic, but I'm calling them gadgets because they're all these little things that you can usually buy. The reason that this is really on the forefront of my mind is that since starting this YouTube channel, I've been, well, looking at other YouTubers who are making writing content, kind of getting a little bit into the AuthorTube world, at least in what I'm experiencing. That's what it's called, apparently. I didn't know. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to get an invitation. Do I have to become an author or can I just kind of make stuff on my own and eventually get invited? I don't know. It might have some sort of ritual where we have to sacrifice a animal or something. So we'll see. I'll try to document it when I can, if that happens. So either way, because of that, the algorithms from either YouTube or Google or both have kind of figured out that they should be marketing to me writing products. And while I don't think writers are buying 100 packs of pens, so a lot of the market is filled with these writing gadgets. And one came across my path that was absurdly expensive. It was like $600, $500. And then they even had, it's called the free write. It's like $600 or something. And they even had the cheaper version, the traveler version, which was like $500, $600. But 30% off, so it's still like about $400. It's ridiculous. But I was like, I'm not totally immune to being romanced by the idea of a distraction-free writing experience. In fact, actually, to some degree, I've given into that, right? I have a couple things that I have bought or objects I keep in my life to help me write. So I think to understand whether or not these writing gadgets are going to help someone as a writer obviously depends on the writer, but I think also a huge thing we have to understand is what is it trying to accomplish, right? It's trying to get someone who's not able to really get themselves to write. And I struggle with that myself. I mean, I call myself the lazy writer and I don't call myself that just for a fun name. I really mean it. So I myself have actually strategically bought some things in my life to help encourage me to write. And I'm also a very experiential person. If the experience is too terrible, I'm not going to keep doing it long term. So personally, I've actually given in and I've bought a couple things that I'm going to show you right here. So the first thing I want to show that I've purchased myself is my laptop. And I know that sounds obvious that I've purchased a laptop to write. Most writers have. Laptops are getting more affordable and it's pretty much an invaluable tool for the modern writer. However, I really thought intentionally I wanted something that I was excited to write on. How do you find something you're excited to write on? Are all laptops pretty much the same? That's true, but I found a laptop. I went to Best Buy and I perused around and I found a laptop that the act of touching it was a great writing experience. And it was the Microsoft Surface laptop. If you look, mine actually has like a dent. I dropped something on it, but whatever. The Microsoft Surface laptop. It's just so enjoyable for me to use this. If you could tell, again, when I dropped it as well, and this kind of came undone. I can't fix it, but it has this texture on it that is kind of like a fake suede, and just touching it is enjoyable. So when you rest your hands on the laptop, it just feels good. So I like using it because I like putting my hands on it. And a lot of people ask, will when I showed them this, they've asked, well, won't this wear out? I think it's lasted pretty well, Not really any discoloration if you look. I think it's lasted pretty well. I've had it for 2.5 years, and it's lasted me super well. I'm hoping they come. I think I have a the 1 or 2. There's 3 out, and I'm probably gonna get the 4 when it does come out. So hopefully it survives this throw. Okay, it did. So I really enjoy that. I also have these, just little notebooks. And I know that these string bound notebooks with fun Moleskin style, right? Like that brand covers and blank pages. It's kind of hipstery. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of middle school, high schooly, right? But I like them, and when I look at them, I want to write in them. So it's good for ideas, it's good for taking notes, and it's good for a lot of things. Things from YouTube ideas to novel ideas to short story ideas to poem ideas. They're great to do that, and I kind of have a different one for each purpose, right? This one's kind of my YouTube idea. Okay, I'm putting these down, but they're great little objects for just that, writing and putting some ideas down, and anything that gets you excited helps. The last item I have that I think kind of goes in the direction of the gadget is the Rocketbook. And if you haven't heard of the Rocketbook, I feel bad for you, son, because I got 99 problems and not having my Rocketbook ain't one. Now, why do I have a Rocketbook? Well, it was gifted to me by my brother, and so that makes it special to me already. It was a gift from a loved one, so I like it already. But it's this plastic, right? You can hear it. This kind of plastic material that actually is a little unpleasant to hold. It's kind of stiff. It's not something that you really want to, experience tactilely, right? However, it's a great tool that I love using. It comes with these special pens. I can write on it. The pages are plastic. And as you can tell, I've used it quite a bit. If you can see, every page is pretty much filled up with notes from something or other. Right? So I've used it a lot, and what you do is it's all plastic with these little dots, and you write with your special pen, and at the end of it, you can take your phone and you scan it, and the scan is sent to your email. And there's even a function on it to turn your handwriting into text format. So that's really, really great. So it's a really great handwriting tool. I show you these things to show you that I'm not anti-writing gadget, because I'm about to kind of go on a rant about why I'm not a big fan of these writing gadgets, right? Often I feel that they're kind of hip, they're kind of a fad that is supposed to convince you into writing. I believe that most people who are unable to get themselves to write on their own, any gadget will only get them to write temporarily and not permanently, right? And then you have to buy another gadget and another gadget. And normally it's just to experience the gadget. It's not to actually write, because writing is grueling. It's a very time-intensive task and often isn't fun. So if you try to just ride off the excitement of a gadget, you're never going to really just be able to sit down and write a whole novel, right? It's one of the most time-intensive tasks there is. However, I do think that having these kind of writing gadgets as something that just makes it a little bit more interesting, might want to get you a little bit more excited occasionally, but you're not relying on them to make you a writer, then it's good and healthy, right? Like I said, I use the Rocketbook, I use a couple of things, I've used a couple applications that make it a very minimalist experience on the computer to write, and I found some success with them, and it's fun to try to use them and then not use them, but I don't rely on them to make myself a writer, because then I won't be a writer, or at least that's what I think. Now, if you disagree with me, please let me know in the comments. I just think that spending $600+ on a writing device to kind of force you to have what they call the distraction-free writing device, the distraction-free writing experience, is just a gimmick and nothing more. However, gimmicks are fun, and I enjoy my occasional gimmick, right? I'll introduce one to my writing for a week or two, and then it's gone, because that's all it is. It's a gimmick, and it can enliven your writing experience occasionally. I just ask that you don't rely on it, and don't believe that if you just spend your $600, you'll just overflow with productivity, right? Admittedly, there is something to commitment, so a financial commitment might kind of force you to stick in the game. Oh, I spent $600 on doing this, I kind of have to use it, right? In a way, that's true, but the only issue I have with that is that how long does that last? Because then you're gonna have to do it again. You're gonna spend another $600, another $300, another $200 for another product that will keep you writing. So I guess my main advice around this whole thing is Buy a gadget if you want to buy a gadget. Buy a writing tool if you want to buy a writing tool to help excite your writing life. However, don't rely on it. Worry about making sure that you are the type of person who knows what you need to do to write. What kind of creative are you? Do you work in chaos? Do you need order? Do you need to completely separate yourself from the home? Do you need to work in a place with other people physically around you? Do you need to be completely alone? Do you need to work at night? Do you need to work during the morning? You need to figure these things out. And that's way more important and way more difficult than buying a $600 device. And $600 is a lot of money that not everybody has, but you can think and you can self-discover who you are as a creative writer or a creative in general. That's my video. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This is Andrew LaFleur, the laziest of lazy writers, and I'm out.